Over the past year or 2 years, I've had an opportunity to work on, read, coach, audit a lot of different online copy, specifically launches and funnels. And I've really had an opportunity to see what's working, what's not working, and maybe some common mistakes that most online marketers are making in their copy. So today, I'm going to share with you the 6 surprising things I've learned after writing 19 plus launches in the last 12 months. Hi, I'm Brittany McBean. I'm a launch strategist and copywriter, and I have the privilege of writing, working on, reading, and auditing a lot of copy for online marketers, course creators, coaches, educators. Whether it is a live launch or an evergreen funnel, we get to look at a lot of copy day in and day out. When my clients come to me, I usually have an opportunity to look at the copy that they've already written. And then, of course, we are rewriting their launch copy or their funnel copy. But I also do some copy coaching inside a high-end mastermind with 6- and 7-figure online course creators, reading the copy that they are writing and auditing their copy. So I have the opportunity, after looking at all of this different copy being put out into the online marketing space, to kind of see those patterns rise to the surface and see those things that are going on with either these people that are writing their copy or the copy that other copywriters are writing that have really surprised me. And that's what I want to share with you today. So the first thing that I have seen, and maybe this isn't as surprising, but I see a lot of marketers making marketing decisions and strategy decisions without any data. So what I mean by this is people are looking at either what somebody has taught them to do or what somebody else in their industry is doing. They're getting excited by shiny object syndrome or just another big idea and wanting to shift their strategy, their copy, their marketing based on this other strategy that they're seeing without understanding whether that strategy is working or not. So many people say, this other person in my niche is doing this. I love this. I want to do that thing. And my question is always, but is it working? Do we have the data? Do we have information that is converting, that it is working, that it is making them money? Rather than starting with the strategy that you see and using the shiny object syndrome to decide what you do, I really want to encourage you to use your past data, your previous data, and your future data to make decisions about what you do in your business, not just what somebody else is doing in their business that may or may not be working for them. The second surprising thing that I've realized is that the mechanics don't matter. So many times when somebody is teaching a launch strategy or talking about a launch strategy, they're really talking about the mechanics. They're either telling you that you should do a webinar live launch strategy, or you should do a challenge live launch, or a self-liquidating offer funnel, or an evergreen funnel. And maybe this sounds like a bunch of industry speak. Don't worry about that, because at the end of the day, the mechanics, how you do something, the tools that you use, what you are doing, they do not matter anywhere near as much as your messaging. So I want you to think messaging over mechanics. The mechanics of your launch or your funnel, how you are promoting this offer, that depends on you, your preference, your resources, your audience. Do what makes sense for you. There are plenty of online courses that should be offered evergreen. Somebody might need them at any random time. You want them to get the information when they need it. You want to grab that person when they are on your sales page. There are plenty of programs that make sense for a live launch. It's a cohort. It's only done with a small number of people over a defined number of time. There's plenty of programs that make sense on evergreen, whether it's a large coaching program or a small group coaching program. There are offers that make sense to do with a self-liquidating offer, a tiny offer funnel, whatever you want to call it. However you want to sell your product, focus on the messaging and do the mechanics that you enjoy doing, right? If you hate doing webinars, don't do a webinar launch. Just don't do it. It won't be fun for you and it'll be awkward for your people. But if you can afford a bunch of different tools and resources and you can go all in on one strategy that takes a lot of technology, then absolutely go ahead and do that. If you prefer simple, if you prefer more complicated, if you have a large team that can monitor something, if it's just you, however you want to sell your offer online, whether it's a live launch, an evergreen funnel, whatever you want to do, go for it. Focus on the messages. Test out the mechanics, see what makes the most sense for you, but don't stress, don't make the decision about your funnel, your offer, your launch based on the mechanics that somebody else has told you has worked. Do the mechanics that make sense for you. Focus on your messaging. The third thing isn't necessarily new because I basically talk about it in every single video and training that I do, but one of the other things that I see people overlook again and again and again is that audience is everything. You've heard me talk about audience offer copy, where audience comes first. You've heard me talk about market research. At the end of the day, we are always honing in on our people before we do anything else. I often see online entrepreneurs or course creators come up with this idea in a bubble, something that they're really excited about, something that they've done well before, or just a product that they think will sell, and they focus on that product. Let's get this product out into the world. Let me create this product. Let me learn what I'm supposed to do, follow all the gurus, take all the courses that I need to market this product, and then it will sell. Right? Wrong, because the mechanics don't matter, right? What matters is your people and what you are saying to them. Seth Godin says that we should be creating products for our customers, not customers for our products. And I could not emphasize that enough. When you start with the thing you want to sell, or the thing you want to make money, or the thing that you want to do, it is less likely to convert. The audience is everything. The first thing you think about, the thing you think about in the middle, and the thing you think about at the end, okay? Your audience, who they are, what they are wanting, what they're needing, what they're struggling with, how they think, how they learn, what they consume, what they're attracted to, that is everything when it comes to selling your offer. So instead of starting with your marketing, or instead of starting with your product, start with your audience. Which brings us to the next thing. One thing that I see over and over and over again is people writing copy without understanding an audience journey. You have to know that when you are selling a offer or a product through a process, through a funnel, whether it is Facebook ad to sales page, whether it is freebie to emails to sales sequence to sales page, however you are getting your offer in front of somebody, there is a process and a journey that your reader is going through. Another great way of understanding this is the 5 stages of awareness. I did another video on that. I will link it down below. But you have to understand that from the moment the person first meets you or sees your marketing content out there, they are going through little micro belief shifts throughout their time with you until they are ready to buy. So that means that the person who is looking at your free content is fundamentally different than that person who is ready to check out on your checkout cart. You have to understand the journey. If you are just starting with a one-size-fits-all messaging and you are just sprinkling that message all the way through your free content, to your webinar, to your show up sequence, to your sales emails, to your sales page, to your checkout cart, all of that, then your offer is going to fall flat to multiple people reading because they are at different stages in their journey. You have to be aware of who is reading what and when and where they are in their journey. Again, I highly encourage you to look at the 5 stages of awareness and understand how that relates to your funnel. But you have to know that in every little piece of content or copy that you are writing, the person reading it is at a different place, and you have to walk them through a journey on the way to your offer. You can't just start with your offer. You've got to warm them up. They have to get to know you. They have to shift some beliefs. They have to overcome some challenges and hesitations. They have to understand their problem. They have to understand the solution. They have to get clear on the outcome that they want, all before they are ready to buy your product. So when you start top of funnel with the name of your product, that means nothing to them. You have to understand the journey, and you have to be responsible for taking them through it on the way to buying your offer. And related to that, another thing that I see online entrepreneurs do again and again and again is that they use their work with their students or the people that they are mentoring or their clients to determine their messaging. They'll look at their testimonials. They will think about how they interact with those students, the questions that they have, whether it is on a group coaching call or a one-on-one service or one-on-one coaching or just interacting with students inside a scaled program. They are using those conversations to determine all of their messaging. And you have to remember that there is a journey, which means that those conversations that you're having inside your program or with your client after they have purchased, after they have signed a contract, that person has already gone through some belief shifts. They've already overcome some hesitations. They've already had some problems answered. They've already gotten clear on the solution. They are bought in on the outcome. So when you only use those conversations, you're going to be missing where your readers actually are in their heads. I've had clients where I say, okay, the people that you're coaching in your program right now, what is the number one thing that you think they need? and they'll give me an answer. And they're right. In those coaching calls or in that program, those are the things that as the coach, they are seeing the student articulate. They are seeing the student ask questions about and bring up and need to work through in the program. But that student did not have the vocabulary for that problem or didn't have an awareness of that problem before they even bought. If you went back and asked that student 6 months ago, what do you need to achieve this transformation, they would give you a completely different answer than what my client did when I said, what do your students need? So again, you have to back that journey up. You have to understand what conversation they are having in their head, what they are actively expressing, what they are actively enduring, what questions they are asking, what words they are using. Yes, your experience with your students, the testimonials, the questions that they ask, those are insanely valuable. And those are the conversations they are having once they are in your program after they have bought. That will give you a lot more information about what you could be writing towards the bottom of the funnel rather than the top. You've got to back it up and you've got to understand that your work with them inside the program is very different than the conversation you need to be having with them all the way back before they get into your funnel. And the sixth surprising thing that I see in this copy is that so many online entrepreneurs have been taught to tackle objections and challenges. And what that means is that when they are writing their copy, they are dismissing the challenges that their reader has, unintentionally, of course, they're just doing what they were taught, but they are dismissing, they are invalidating, and they are completely dismissing the challenges and the objections, which makes the reader feel invalidated, dismissed, and overlooked. That's not how you want your readers to feel. By not acknowledging the challenges they are actively having, by not validating those problems, by not holding space for and validating their hesitations, you are not giving them the space to make the micro shifts that they need to make in order to become ready to buy your offer. You're not allowing them to trust you because you have invalidated their experience. But if you can call out, actively bring to light the challenges that they are in the middle of experiencing, the hesitations, objections, and please remember that not every life experience is an objection. I can't afford this program is not an objection. That is a real life experience someone is having. Not every experience or circumstance is a limiting belief or an objection to overcome. Your job is to hold space for their problems, their questions, their challenges, their confusions, their hesitations. Bring them to light and address them. Help them discern which problems and challenges are circumstances that are outside of their control that might either let them know that they are not right to buy your offer or it's not right for them right now. Help them understand which circumstances can be fixed or adjusted through your program and help them decide whether that is the right decision for them. Answer their questions, acknowledge what they are going through, let them know that their failures are not their fault. Because when we ignore a problem or a challenge or a past failure, and I'm saying failure because that is how your reader views it, not because that's actually how it is. When we ignore those challenges, then we tell that person, the reader, that if they are experiencing those challenges, it's because something is fundamentally wrong with them, right? But if we can address those challenges, if we can say, you're probably experiencing blank because no one has ever given you the tools to blank, right? Or maybe this is what's going on right now because this is a really, really hard time right now. When you acknowledge those things, they feel seen, heard, known, understood. They feel safe. They feel validated. They feel taken care of. So instead of ignoring the things going on, whether it's globally, personally, interpersonally, just mentally, instead of ignoring those things, when you can address them, bring them to the surface, hold space for them, validate them, acknowledge them, and help somebody work through them, you are going to build so much more trust and connection. And I am going to bet that you're going to see your conversion rates shoot through the roof. So once again, in order, the 6 surprising things that I have seen after reading launch after launch after launch, funnel after funnel after funnel. Online marketers making decisions without understanding any data or having knowledge of what's working or what's not working, prioritizing the mechanics over the messaging, putting what they want to say or what they want to sell ahead of their audience, not prioritizing the audience, not walking a reader through a journey, not understanding the journey that the reader is on, but starting and finishing with their product. Using the student or the client testimonials and conversations and experience to determine the messaging from start to finish in the funnel. And then last but not least, and I would argue most importantly, ignoring or dismissing or not acknowledging the challenges, the hesitations, the frustrations that their reader is having. So if you can read through your existing copy, see which one of those 6 you might be unintentionally doing and make some changes to adjust one of those, I bet you are going to start seeing a difference in the way people connect to your copy, the conversations people want to have with you, and at the end of the day, at the bottom of that funnel, how people are willing to spend their money with you on your offer. So I want to know which of these 6 was surprising to you. Are there any of these that maybe you've seen in other people's copy or that you've done in your own copy? Comment below. Let me know what really stood out to you. And if there's anything that you want me to dive deeper on, any one of those 6 or any other launch or funnel strategies, let me know. Comment below and we'll make a video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you are getting the notification every single time one of these pops up every week. All right, I'll see you in the next video.